Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas. Hello, I'm Billy Cauthen, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Yes, sir, buddy. And we've made it. Yeah, yay.
Yeah, just 10 minutes late. We're here.
No, we were on time. I started at 7:30.
Oh.
It's just all that intro stuff. I took about 10 minutes to let it fly. Man, this is the relaxing living room of Friday morning. How do we make this more like a living room?
Recliners.
Oh, dude, I got to tell you a
If
story.
I was in a recliner right now, I'd be asleep.
We ought to do, and you know what? Put the cameras up here, and that'd be a better look too. You know,
Mouth wide open, slobber coming out.
Welcome in, everybody. Buddy, I got to tell you something. You know, people get rid of stuff all the time on the social, on Facebook, and if you're not Johnny on the spot, you ain't getting it. Somebody else. You know, the other day somebody was giving away a little bicycle. And it was the cutest little bike. It is perfect for Braylon, just perfect little bicycle. And I saw that post. Bridget saw it. It was posted like 11 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. And I got in the truck barefoot. I grabbed Braylon. She was all excited. I said, let's go get that bike. I made a terrible mistake, by the way.
Telling her, but yeah.
Yes. And so we raced over there, and that bike was gone. And I started thinking, who in the world needs that bike more than us? I said, we needed that bike, Billy. We needed it. And it was gone. And Braylon, of course, got upset. She said, where is it, Daddy? I thought, and it broke my heart so bad I had to go run to Walmart and get her one.
That's what I was about to say. Go to Walmart.
Yeah, we got her little $60 bike, her, and then I had to get Cauthen one. So what ended up being free cost me $120 that I didn't have.
Hidden free grade.
Yeah. And I just want to challenge people this morning. If you post something for free on Facebook, if somebody comes to get it, take it down, please, because I think this one had been gone for a few more minutes. Because when we got home, it was still there. And the people were there. They were in the yard. And they're, somebody already got it. Well, post it. Comment.
Mark is sold.
Yeah, please. And so anyways, but here's the deal. This weekend, somebody had said free recliners. These were nice leather recliners. Had kind of a wood handle to them. which I kind of like that wood handle because, this part of the recliner gets a little bit dirty over time.
Yeah.
So it's got the wood handles, leather, and real nice. I forget, there's some movie where somebody said, that's real nice. And there was 2 of them. And so once again, and I said, and I knew from the bicycle incident, because this one had been posted 15 minutes ago. I didn't get my hopes up, but I ran without putting on my shoes, Billy. I took off. I darted to that house. It was about 4 minutes away on the GPS. And, buddy, I got over there, and guess what was sitting there?
Recliners.
Only one.
Oh.
But I got one of the 2. And I started thinking, I started kind of chuckling. I said, somebody they couldn't get both, so they went home to go get the other one, and I got it before they got back.
So now you should post it online for sale.
Yeah, to imagine. And I'm going to tell you something, man. That is a nice recliner. I got it in the garage right now because Bridget again told me about this. And my first thought was, we don't have any room for this. But I said, we're going to make room for this thing. And so now in my house, I have one recliner that was free, another one that someone had posted they sold for $35. So 2 of my recliners have came off of Facebook. So there you go. You ever got anything cool like that off the Facebook or anything?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really got anything for free, but I buy stuff off Facebook Marketplace. My last set of toolboxes.
Got them off of there?
Yeah. I had to drive to South Houston, but I got them. And, of course, and this wouldn't bother some people, but they're side mount toolboxes. They go on each side of your pickup.
Saddlebags.
And I asked the guy, I said, do you have the key? And he's like, no. I said, well, that's fine. I mean, you go online and get keys for stuff, right? And there's 2 identical toolboxes, so they got to be, the same key. So I go down and I pay him cash for these toolboxes, and I get back, and the next day I jump on the whirly pipe there, and I'm looking. And
now, do they open, though, to the toolbox?
Oh, they open,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
They weren't locked.
They weren't locked, okay.
You can't lock them without the key. So get on the whirly pipe there, and I'm looking up, and it's a specially type of toolbox. It's a weather guard, and the lock is built into the button that you push to. So, you contact them, and they tell you where to get the lock code. Well, doggone it, the toolboxes didn't. It was 2 separate lock codes, so I was going to have 2 sets of keys.
Oh, come on.
I'm like, well, how much is the replacement lock cylinders? And for each cylinder, they wanted more than I paid for the toolboxes. Well, I take that back. I paid $200 for both toolboxes. They wanted like $176 a cylinder.
That's still what a rip-off.
Well, yeah, I wound up paying like $75 for just the keys.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, be careful of good deals on Marketplace.
So is this wasn't one of those that you could just stick an old flathead screwdriver in and turn it and call it a day?
No,
you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You remember that?
I know what you're talking about. Well, what tickles me is people like to have toolboxes. In most toolboxes to where the key is separate from the latch, you can go to Tractor Supply, Home Depot, Walker County Hardware, wherever, and get a replacement lock cylinder for like $4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you unscrew the old one, screw the new one in, bam, you're done. Everything's already there. You get two new keys, you're done. I've done it 100 times. Works perfect. But you'll see people that instead of just paying the $4 and rekeying their toolbox, they'll go to the hardware store and they'll buy a $25 padlock and a $15 hasp and all that stuff. They'll wind up putting $60 into like an old padlock style for their toolbox. I'm like, guys, do you realize you could have saved money, made it look better? I don't know, just where I'm at today. I'm tired. I'm rambling on.
Tired, wore out, just ready to call it.
I feel like an old used tire. I'm just wore out.
Hey, but you still got some metal tread left in you.
That's right. You got that don't rub me. You'll cut your finger.
What do they call it? Radial steel?
Yeah.
Radial steel.
Love to hear them steel belts humming on the asphalt.
Well, I got one for you too, Billy. What's so hard about communication? Can we talk about this real quick? What is so hard in this world about communication? About picking up a phone and just making a quick call to let somebody know about something. Have you experienced this before? I'm sure you have.
Mm-hmm.
So, my yard was completely trashed a couple months ago. I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset about it at all. Because I knew that it would get fixed, right? But my fire hydrant, I already told you part of this story probably. My fire hydrant in the front yard it wasn't working. And so our friends, and I'm not bashing the city. I'm bashing the communication is what I'm bashing.
Okay.
And this is in general. One, I didn't know they were going to come do this. And so I get home and the yard's completely tore up and trashed. I was used to in Georgetown, if folks would come by and do things, they would tell you the day before. They'd put a little note on your door. I mean, even Xfinity does this. Comcast is coming through there running fiber, and they put a note on people's doors saying, hey, we're going to be through the neighborhood at 10 a.m. tomorrow, whatever, just to let people know what was going on. So I got no notice that this was going to happen. They came out. They dug up all the yard. They figured out, well, it's nothing. It's more than we thought. So they covered it back up. There's this huge area the yard tore up. They put a trash bag with tape around the fire hydrant, to let you know it doesn't work.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
good.
That'll
Good,
protect it, let you know it doesn't work.
Well, it keeps from getting wet.
Yeah, keep it from. You don't want those things getting water on them.
No.
And then a couple more weeks passed, and they said, "Well, we can't come back. We can't come back out to do anything because of the storms, the rain that's coming." And it, we had all that rain, and so I got that. Whatever. What I was most upset about, Billy, is the fact that if someone would have just told me that they were going to do this, I could have easily let them know, "Hey, there's a fiber line right under here, and my irrigation lines are right under here." Well, no one let them know that, and so what did they do? They ripped all that out.
Yeah.
And so I had to call many of you know this story because you watch this show. So I had to call out Vexus, the fiber company, and the young man came out and he replaced the line, and he put yellow tape all on the line because he left it on top because they weren't finished yet. So he put yellow tape, gave plenty of slack, and he put yellow tape so they wouldn't tear it up again. Well, they came back a second time to redig the hole and well, guess what they did? They tore out the fiber line. In fact, the neighbor said that now I don't know the story of this. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but the neighbor had said that she overheard the guys, because she was out there, saying, "It's in our way, just rip it out." Even though it had plenty of slack and yellow tape on, yellow flags on. And this guy came after hours. He was there at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Subcontractor. Probably didn't even get paid to come do that. And anyways, they ripped it out again. So here's the whole long story, Billy. Yes, it got fixed. Yes, they fixed it all, okay? But here's one thing. The fire hydrant's tilted. And boy, it just annoys the fire out of me and I know these are petty things, right? But when I drive into my driveway, it just annoys the fire out of me because this fire hydrant is tilted. Okay? That's one thing. If you're going to spend all that time, get the thing straight. Mm-hmm. Odell, the Cajun barber, I was over there yesterday. I was telling him about this. He goes, "Man, just get you well, Rob, let's see, I'm trying to do this.
You're doing it.
Well, Rob, get you a real soft blanket there, a thick blanket, and get you a sledgehammer and just put up against it and hit it a few times." And he was joking, of course. And then he said, then they're going to have to come out and fix it again.
Back into it with your trucks, better bet.
So, yeah. So, anyways, they say, well, we need to come lay the grass over it now. But I told them, I said, well, my irrigation's probably not going to work. They said, well, we want to come test the irrigation. And this goes back to February when my water line busted that goes to the irrigation. I didn't have time to patch it back up or to fix it properly, so I bypassed the irrigation. I patched it with a little plug. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was going to take 6 or 7 hours to redo all this, and I have not had 6 or 7 hours to redo it. And so I told him, I said, well, it's going to be a while because I need to find a weekend that I've got time to fix all that and money. I said, I don't have money to hire somebody to come fix the irrigation line on the other side of the house. Obviously, they couldn't test the irrigation on the driveway side because I hadn't fixed my part yet. Are you following me?
I'm with you.
And the reason I hadn't fixed it is because the main water line, the people who put the fence in decided, oh, let's put the fence right on top of the main water line and let's just let the concrete encase the water line.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, and by the way, let's put so as multiple people, let's put the 3 irrigation lines on top of the T that goes to the irrigation line. So when the irrigation line cracks, you've got to cut through all the other lines to get to the T. You following me? There's a lot of moving parts here. Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't fix it right away. So anyways, I finally got around to fixing it this past weekend. It took me 6 or 7 hours, just like I'd anticipated. Ran into some headaches. And sure enough, I go to fire up the side irrigation. Guess what happens to the sprinklers? Don't work. Water's bubbling out of the ground, just like I suspected, that something would have been broken. So here's where the whole communication problem comes into play. I didn't call, I emailed someone with the city, and their first comment was, and I was nice. They said, well, yeah, we'll come out. I'll get the because I called the irrigation company first. They said, well, you're going to have to call the city. They've already closed that work order because I had taken so long to fix my irrigation system, and they had already laid the grass. See, that's the first part. They didn't communicate that they were coming to tear up the yard to fix the fire hydrant. They didn't communicate to let me know what day the people were coming to put the grass back down.
And you know they got your phone number.
This is all a communication breakdown. And someone told me, oh, we're in the business of customer service. Well, I didn't see it. If this was a business, it would not be in business anymore because the communication was horrible. Just tell people what's going on. It's not hard. So, anyways, the grass gets laid. I turn on I get my sprinkler system fixed. Of course, it doesn't work. And so I email back and I said, hey, the irrigation. I called that guy. He said, we can't do it because they've already closed the ticket. So I get a hold of the guy at the city. He goes, yeah, we'll do it. But the first comment was, but we're not replacing any grass. That was the first comment. Like, what kind of customer service is that? I mean, you could, but we're not going to replace the grass. We're not going to do that. And my first thought was, when they laid the grass, they didn't re-level the yard. So now there's this huge sinkhole that every time it rains, that's going to sink. And I'm going to, and
Yeah.
now, so bottom line is this is going to, because of your mistake and your maintenance, it's going to cost me. I'm going to be the one that has to pay to fix all of this stuff. Well, he did say, well, we'll get the irrigation guys to come back out. Okay? They come back out 2 or 3 days later, did not call me to tell me that they were coming out. Apparently, they come yesterday. Bridget said they spent 3 or 4 hours. Luckily, she was there because how are they going to test things? The controller's in the garage.
Yeah, it's in the garage.
Exactly. And so they come out and they dug this big trench, and I already started digging because I figured they probably weren't going to come back, and I found where the pipe was, where it was going down and where the water was guzzling out and where it was broke. So I already did them a favor and pinpointed where it was at. So anyways, I come home, and there's this huge trench next to the driveway that's dug out, and I asked Bridget, what happened? Oh, I don't know. Nobody told me anything. So I called them yesterday before this irrigation company closed, and they have five-star reviews on Google, all right? But I don't care about the reviews. I care about, as a customer, what's going on. They didn't leave any note. They didn't tell my wife anything, and they just left it there. We're going out of town this weekend. We're leaving today. No communication, and I called, never called, and I called them before they closed, Billy. How hard is it to pick up a phone? Hey, Mr. Hip, yeah, no problem. No, hey, you know what? We knew this was going on, so we're going to be out tomorrow at so-and-so time. Mm-hmm. No call. Apparently they open up at 7 a.m. in the morning. No call. Haven't got anything yet from them. No call. So here we are with this trench in my yard, and I have no idea what's going on. So a communication breakdown from the city not telling me that they were coming to do all this in the first place, and now this irrigation company not telling me anything. It just took me 15 minutes to tell my story. Pick up the phone, call people, communicate. How hard is it? There you go. That's my rant, Friday rant.
I have my own problems with the city.
And I just want people to communicate. Mm-hmm. That's all I want. How hard is it, Billy, to communicate? Do you have a communication story that pops into your mind about something that could have easily been averted if somebody would have just taken literally 30 seconds to call you? I'm sure you got one.
Well, how come it's not so much now, but like back in the day when you had home telephone, when the AT&T or whoever would come out, you had to be there between the hours 8 and 5. Like, how come they couldn't narrow that down a little bit more?
When I had my IT company, I'm sure when you guys go to help a family, you don't tell them, well, we'll be there between 8 and 5.
No, we normally say we'll be there within 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, so there's a perfect example. You know? I mean, it's I don't understand. And I feel like I don't know, I'm all about lifting up and encouraging on this show, but I just feel like as a society that we have gotten so relaxed in communication that we just don't take the time to properly communicate anymore. That's all. That's it, you know? We just don't take the proper time to communicate with people anymore. And we could avoid so many problems if we would just communicate, Billy. That's it. See, someone's communicating with you. Mm-hmm. They're at least telling you what's going on. I wish I'd get a text message to tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I sent them something 14 hours ago, and they're just now responding to it.
They're listening to the show. They know the communication.
Communication.
Well, hey, do us a favor this morning. Let us know how you are today. These are all petty problems, by the way. I mean, there could be a lot worse going on. But I just wanted to get that off my chest here on this Friday to wrap up. Because Billy and I, we're so overjoyed on Fridays, because, yay, it's Friday.
I'm exhausted, y'all. I'm just dead man walking.
What's been going on this week? Hey, I wanted to commend you real quick, man. You have been working hard. And I know trying to really take care of yourself and eating better. And tell us the 4:30 a.m. stories. How are those going, man?
Yeah, my son tried to kill me the other day. Monday morning, I'm laying in bed and I'm asleep, 4:30. And he comes into my room and threatens my life. Wants me to get up and go jogging with him. And I went.
Did you grumble at him?
No, I went.
Did you say, okay, Bubba, no problem?
Pretty much. And then about 30 seconds into it, I was, God almighty, I was sucking wind. So, and when we go, like, we walk down our driveway, then we start down the road, and he's like, all right, Dad, and he hammers off. And I'm like, well, when you're this year model, you gotta slowly warm up. So I walked to the bottom of the hill, then I ran a little ways and stopped and walked and ran some more, and we've been getting up every morning at 4:30 and running and lifting weights.
Where y'all doing that? Garage? Y'all got some weights in the garage?
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me that y'all have like a weight bench out in front of the house that's just sitting there rusted.
Dude, my grandma was that way. Her front porch, we had the old school bench press. And that was it. There was no other furniture out there. So, like, when we were hanging out at her house, it was a race to see who could get to the weight bench first so you'd have a place to sit.
You know you're in a tough neighborhood, man, when you got those weight benches out. You don't mess with people that have a weight bench out front.
Well,
I had a friend down the street that had one, and we knew. He was like, he goes, this is a deterrent. It keeps people away.
We didn't have a whole bunch of weights to go on the weight set, so you max out pretty quick.
Y'all had a bamboo stick with cinder blocks on it.
It's a broom handle. Get off us.
Oh, man.
And I wish I still had a copy of it. I loaned it to an aunt of mine, and I never saw it again. But my dad, grew up here in Huntsville, and he had there was two twin boys. I can't remember their names. They had to come to me in a little bit, but they had 8mm cameras or whatever. And later in life, they took that. They were always, recording, and they took that footage and they put it on VHS tapes or whatever. And what's cool is there's like a lot of old school Huntsville houses there, and you can still I haven't seen the videotape since '98 or something, but I still remember a lot of the houses and it's everything that I saw. But like you can drive by some of the houses, they're still there, and like there would have been like a little tree in the front yard. Now that tree's a humongous thing. But there was one deal where they were lifting weights, and they had a coffee can. It was a stick with two coffee cans with concrete in each one, and that's what they were using for their weights or whatever. And you can't hear them talk, but you can read their lips or whatever. And boy, they're, Superman, it's, so.
Oh, it's neat to think about how times change sometimes, and I've been real nostalgic lately, and I don't know, I've been missing a lot of people in my family that aren't here anymore. Obviously my dad, lost him over a year ago, my grandmother, and I started thinking as you get older, you start losing a lot of people. You still have the memories, but you lose the people, and it's really,
you lose that VHS tape and that hurts.
Yeah, you lose that thing and you're long gone. But no, I've been thinking a lot about that, Billy, and I think about, what are the memories the new memories that I'm going to make with my family, and how are my children going to remember growing up, and those kind of things, and it's, for me, it's tough because I miss a lot of the things that we did when we were children. We get together and we go sit on my grandma's porch, and I want my kids to have those same memories, But they're not going to have the memories of the front porch at our house because we don't have a front porch.
You got to fix that. I remember my grandma's front porch. We would give each other haircuts, and man, everyone always wanted me to cut their hair because I'd take my time, make sure everything was lined up. But then my cousin Eddie, he cut my hair one time, and he cut my sideburns up about to here, ran them, and then dropped them down behind the ear. And he said, "You look like a man." I looked in the mirror. I'm like, I look like a damn fool. So,
hey, you know what's? I just saw something here. Boy, this was this year, Billy. This kind of. Let me show this real quick on the screen here. I was trying to tie all this in because of I was talking about just history and nostalgia and all these things. And the other day, I didn't have the opportunity to see Huntsville the way that you guys saw it because I didn't live here, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, a lot of my memories about how places were in Georgetown because I saw it. Well, one day I was bored. You can see it up on the screen here now. I was bored one day, and I started doing the Google Street View. Now, I just street viewed the church here, and this was they updated this in April because look right there, buddy. Look at that. There's the old truck sitting there. But what's neat about Google Street View is a couple of things, and I wanted to show this. Y'all can, if you're listening on Spirit Radio, obviously you're not going to be able to if you're listening this morning on the Spirit Radio, which you're not. Now you are. We want to welcome all of you in on Spirit Radio.
Good morning.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing.
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing. If you're watching this morning on social media, you can see this, and this is pretty cool. So this is Google Street View. You ever get on here and play around with this thing?
Yes. I mean, not I look up people's addresses and look around. And
so there's a thing up here. So see, here's the parking lot, right? So check this out. If I go over here to see more dates, all of a sudden this thing goes back to 2013. And here's what's cool. You see that parking lot right there that we built here at the church?
I seeded it.
Well, let's go over here to 2023. Well, there's the parking lot. See that?
Oh, it looks kind of gracious.
Let's go to 2022. All right. It's grass, right? Well, how about we go to 2018? This is pretty cool. Oh, what is that?
It's this cute little single-family dwelling.
You remember this over here?
I remember a lot of things.
Look at this, man. This is and
that's back when they would let people park over here in the AT&T parking lot.
It's like going back in time, and you can go back over here, see the latest, see more dates. I can go back to 2013. The fence is gone. Mm-hmm. Someone here at the church was saying that. They were saying, yeah, back in the day they let us park over there, and for whatever reason, they blocked all that up to where you can't park in that AT&T parking lot anymore. But isn't that neat to go back in time? Mm-hmm. And it's so cool because you can drive. So here we go. I'm going down. What is this over here? Let's see. This is where Sanders' Kitchen. But see, like for me, I didn't know what that used to be back in the day, right?
It was a bus stop.
Well, let's go to 2019. What was this? Climate Services of Texas.
Well, at one time it was Davis Construction Management.
Look at that. Isn't this cool, man? You can just go back here. What is this?
T-shirts.
Look at these guys, man. They're out here chilling. They're waiting on the bus. Look at this. They're ready to go, man. Don't you like Google Street View? All right, so someone had it. Look at how many places this has been. Look at that. 2013.
Yeah,
Davis.
See that?
There you go. Mm-hmm. Wow. See, I didn't even look at this stuff before. There's Davis Construction, and it wasn't the T-shirt place then, back in 2013. Or the bus stop. Yeah, it was. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Man, what a hodgepodge of all that. Look at that. Surplus store.
Yeah, they had an Army surplus store in there. Of course, it really wasn't Army stuff. It was just old wore-out clothes that those guys could get when they got out.
So here's my question. You see this second level up here? Uh-huh. So where did it go?
They made that roof right there.
Yeah, look at that. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's just gone.
But it is kind of neat, We're just taking a little step. Let's just walk back through Huntsville here back in the day. All right. And one thing I noticed, the gallery, this is where Paul had the gallery. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who did his sign, but man, whoever did this sign, they got to use better quality material because 2018, look how nice that thing looked. Mm-hmm. All right. You go fast forward a year, still looks good, right? 2019, we're still looking good.
It's a little color changed a little bit there.
But then we go to 2022, and this thing is gone. Look at that. You're only talking 3 years later, the thing's already faded. And then by 2025, it's completely gone.
Oh, Rob, let me just point something out to you. Lowest bidder doesn't always win, if you know what I mean.
It's pretty cool though, just to drive through, and then you think about here's the Cafe
Oh
Texan.
man, we could look at the old,
Yeah. So here's Cafe Texan 2025. Let's see if we can get a better view of it with that sign. You know what I'm saying? There we go.
Perfect. All right.
You
there
like
we
that
go.
one?
I love it.
All right, here we go. There's Cafe Texan 2025. Let's go to 2022. I guess were they working on it?
They were working on it then, I think.
That long ago?
It took them a while.
All right, let's go to 2019. There
Bam,
you go.
there it is.
There it is. Look at her.
All right, open that sucker up. I want a big Texan breakfast.
I wonder that's where K-Sam got their logo from. Look at that. Look, they even got a skeleton hiding out in there. There's the old cat. Isn't that cool, though, just to go back and see this stuff? Mm-hmm. And they kept that sign. 2013, we'll go back another one. Look at that bad boy. Why'd they get rid of the awning that said that? Look, from 2013, 5 years later, the writing's gone. That's cool. I like that writing right there. Mm-hmm. McAdams, what is that?
McAdams Dry Goods or whatever.
McAdams Antiques, Dry Goods. This is pretty cool to go back and look at. 2008, Billy. Look at the camera quality getting worse, by the way. And this one will go all the way back to February 2008 was the first street view of when Google drove through Huntsville. Pretty cool, right?
Yep.
Now, I do want to stay on this train just for a little bit longer because as I was taking a journey through Huntsville, I just crossed the street I didn't stop at the red light, Billy.
You rascal.
So we're just continuing on, right? We're just driving on.
You know, I'm looking to see if I recognize the vehicle.
You probably do. All right, we're just driving. All right, we're just driving on. What used to be there that's where Red Wings is now, right?
That was a law office.
Law office. Smither, Martin, Henderson, and Blazik. Law office.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad painted that place, and we had to do a bunch of woodwork.
Why do law offices answer the phone like that? Law office. It's nothing personal about it.
Same way a garage door company just says door service.
Same way Odell whenever
barbershop.
He goes barbershop.
Well, I'll sure if you call Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we don't just go funeral home.
All right, here's what's cool because y'all told me stories about all the HEB property over there back in the day. And I said, well, I got to see this. And so as I drive through Huntsville, just to drive in, all right. Whoa, they actually went in the parking lot here at McKenzie's. Did you see that?
Went and got him a sandwich.
They went in, got a sandwich, came out. All right, here's what's cool for me, just some new guy that came to Huntsville 4 or 5 years ago. Here's all that HEB parking, or that HEB over here. Boy, the Google camera got really jacked up. All right, let's go back onto the street here. There we go. All right, so here is the HEB. All right, October 2022. Let's go see more data. 2019, HEB's still there, right? Mm-hmm. Some reason it's putting me in the parking lot. Let me get out of the parking lot back on the street. Here we go. All right, February 2025. Now, here's where it gets cool for me. 2018, we still had the HEB, right? That was the HEB. 2018, HEB was here. Now, watch this. 2015. What is
there
that?
It is.
What is that?
Well, that's Firestone. That used to be just styling. Back in the day, that was a Baskin-Robbins. I think Baskin-Robbins might have been more in the corner. But then this big thing right here, that was Academy. But for this all intents and purposes, it was Hastings. And that's Tractor Supply down there. And then Sears.
So it was that whole area was a whole shopping center over there. Huh?
Ironworks, yeah.
Wow. It's just cool to go back and see. You can tell that was a Hastings, right? Look at that.
Yeah.
Let's go to 2009. There it is. Look at that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cool to go back in history and just look at that? Is
Man,
that a Pizza Hut?
That's Los Panchitos. It was a Pizza Hut, but that's Los Panchitos right there.
And that's tore down now, right?
Yeah. Well, my truck's probably parked out in front of that thing.
Yeah, you recognize any of them?
Not particularly.
Isn't that cool, though, to go back and look in history of that?
All right, go to the right here. This little thing right here, which was a car lot, but when I was a kid, they sold seafood there.
Where, in this thing?
That little, yeah, right there.
Wow.
And then it was Mr. Clean's detail shop.
Isn't that neat, though, to go back, Billy, and just look at that? Grand opening.
Hey, man.
Hey, look, you're right. Look, Mr. Clean Detail Shop. Look at that, man. And that goes all the way back to 28. And look, in 2008, they still have the grand opening. Look at that.
Hey, you know, when you're excited about something.
Look, 2008 grand opening, 2013 still the grand opening. I mean, they've had this going for 5 years now. And then 2015, we shut it down.
Yep. We tore it down.
Well, look at that's so neat to go back and look at this and just see what used to be back in the day in Huntsville. I just want to take another quick journey. This is kind of fun, man. Where was the original HEB?
Sam Houston and I think Avenue J.
So I wonder if there's a quick way that you could just kind of, if you could, pop.
Do Sam Houston and Lake Road.
Wait, so we can just drive through this, right, Billy? Can we drive through this morning? Am I taking a long way around here? That's all right.
No, you're doing fine.
Here we go. We're just cruising. I ran a couple of red lights again. I know people watching this are probably getting sick at their stomach, but that's okay. We're taking a journey. Hey, here's my question. What did the old, where Carolyn's over here now with that historic tours of Texas. But my question is,
I can't remember what that was.
Well, see, now I've lost it, Billy. Oh man, I've lost it. I've lost the
go back in time.
Yeah, where is that at now? Maybe I've lost the go. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Man, we got stuff messing up left and right, buddy. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. The whole thing just crashed here. If you see here, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyways. Yeah, see that? What I'm talking about? That whole thing really got there. Is that it? I know I'm just rambling on this morning, but, man, I just thought it was kind of cool to see this. Something happened, folks. I'm sorry. I broke it. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Anyways, there's a look back at time in Huntsville. I thought you'd enjoy that journey.
Yep, I loved every minute.
I found the old HEB on there is what I'm getting at, and it was just cool to see.
And
that.
I bet there wasn't a whole bunch of cars in the parking lot, was
and
there?
it was
No, and that's what I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot understand. When it was on that side of town, you could pull up to the front door, get out, go in, get whatever, and there was a handful of people in that store.
Was there less people here then? I mean, has Huntsville
No.
grown a whole lot since then?
No. But now the HEB on the other side of town, you got to park at the Easy Pond, walk across 11th Street to go in there. And I've lived here my whole life, and I can go in HEB and spend an hour in there and not see a soul that I recognize. Mm-hmm. Are these people getting bussed in by HEB corporate? How did y'all? Where are you from? What's your real address? Well, hey, are you getting paid to drive in here and clog up all the good spots?
That's what they're doing, man. Well, hey, let's take a quick break. Final day this week as we wrap up. It's been a fun week here on the show. We've had a lot of guests. And, again, appreciate Billy here, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, as we just took a little nostalgic tour back in time here on a Faithful Friday. We are giving away Cafe Texan today. Big thank you to Vance Howard, Tiffany Gobble over there for hooking us up with gift cards. And all you've got to do today, text in your name to 936-339-0139. Cafe Texan coming your way. Again, just text in your name. Many of you new people are joining us this morning. Saw a lot of new comments. And so if you text in just your name to 936-339-0139, you could possibly win Cafe Texan today. We'll take a brief break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what's happening here in Huntsville and what it's the National Day of as well. As always, we're here on this Faithful Friday. It's brought to you by Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. It's our family serving yours since
2002.
That was a long time ago, brother.
It's been a minute.
Is that 23 years?
And I feel every one of them.
Buddy, that's enough of this nostalgia.
Yeah.
We'll take a break.
Let's talk about the day right now.
Yeah, we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. More to come. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
Hi, I'm Billy Cauthen, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
Looking for the perfect office space? Drive success with premier office spaces in Huntsville at Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Raven Property Management has moved in and we're on site ready to give you a tour at 2503 Lake Road. Whether you're a startup, small business, or an established company, our Class A offices provide the professional environment you need to thrive. Flexible leases, modern amenities, and a prime location. This is where business gets done. Execute your success today. Visit HuntsvilleWorkspace.com to schedule your tour.
Imagine a voice of hope reaching every corner of Huntsville, from homes and hospitals to prison walls. That's the heart of Spirit Radio. We're a truly local 501c3 nonprofit, and we're raising $25,000 to build our tower and get on the air. With your help, we'll broadcast encouragement, truth, and the love of Christ across our community and across the world through the Spirit Radio FM app. Visit spiritradio.fm and give today. Let's bring light to Huntsville and beyond together.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted, family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Deneen with Guardian Defense, and you're listening to Spirit Radio.
Hey friends, welcome back at it. 74 degrees. How about a 50% chance of rain today? Huntsville humidity at 97%. A quick update for you out there in the Atlantic. Aaron is boy, that thing was excuse me. Luckily Aaron didn't hit no land.
Didn't hit no land.
that sounded
She ain't hit no land.
That's not Rick's top 10. Hold on. Oh, that's a good Huntsville right there, buddy. She didn't hit no land.
Well, that's because you went down memory lane of Huntsville there, so now you're picking up habits.
This hurricane was massive, by the way, and there was massive waves coming in on the Carolina coast. But at one point, this hurricane stretched 800 miles. Can you fathom that? 800-mile storm? Isn't that crazy? Man, just thinking about that. And the forecast track is putting this thing like south. It's still going to be a hurricane, but it's like south of Greenland. Look how this thing has so much power, Billy, that it's still going to be a hurricane as it gets, I don't know, 1,000 miles off the Greenland coast or whatever. Isn't that crazy? And I wonder if a hurricane's ever actually came up and hit that coast.
Yeah, they know how to deal with a hurricane over there.
Throw ice everywhere, by the time that thing got there. But that's churning out the Atlantic. It's going to pose no threat whatsoever. But there is another one, a disturbance, about a 90% chance, probably later today, a disturbance out there in that same area is going to turn into a tropical storm. But, again, it's going to move to the northeast. No threat to land. But there's another one. It's got about a 50% chance just, I would say, northeast of South America. And that one could find its way into the Gulf of Mexico here in the next week or two. So we're going to have to keep a look on. Anytime you see them from the National Hurricane Center where they got that little arm shooting out towards the U.S., that's where you got to start being concerned. Every year the National Hurricane Center says this is going to be the busiest year yet, and then we don't hear of anything.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm used. Well, that's like the Farmer's Almanac is always going to be the worst winter we've ever had.
And then everything's fine. And then the one winter it is the worst. Well, see, you got it right.
Yeah.
Got it right.
That's why, man, there's three things you get to do. It's practice law, practice medicine, and predict the weather.
Mm-hmm. I may try to be a weatherman and see what happens, just so the one day that it hits it right, I can be like, I told you it was going to do that. Something I wanted to highlight real quick, and I won't go into a long discussion about this, but I'm a big space guy. I like space. Voyager 1 was launched over 50 years ago by NASA, Billy. This thing is like it looks like something you'd build from an erector set with a dish on it back then.
Hang on a second. What does that say?
It says Voyager 1 starts exhibiting the unusual behavior. It hasn't done this since the 80s.
Oh, it hadn't had that behavior since the 80s.
Hadn't had this behavior.
Okay.
Well, I ain't had that behavior either since the 80s.
Well, you're saying it's 50 years old, but it was from the 80s. I was trying to do the math, and it just...
No, it's been out there longer than that. I think it was launched in the 70s. Would that be 50 if you were in the 70s? Be close to it.
Yeah.
Early 7. I think it was launched in 1970. But anyways, this is Voyager 1. The NASA had made this thing long time ago to go out, and its original mission was just to map our solar system, right? Well, this thing is now outside of our solar system, still going at something like 10,000 miles an hour. They call it interstellar now. It's interstellar. Here's what I want to get at, Billy. This just shows you how they used to make things back then, and they don't make them as good as they used to. 50 years, this thing is still going, and they're still able to communicate with it and send it trajectory commands to realign it and reposition it.
Like MS-DOS or something?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's a little blinking cursor, that they type in.
It's got a dot matrix printer up there.
But think about that this thing was developed over 50 years ago, and it's still able to communicate. My question is, how are they still able to power this thing? Because solar wasn't a big deal back then, 50 years ago. So I was talking to you during the commercial break. There's probably something not even the size of this coffee cup that's nuclear that's been powering that thing for all these years. So why can't we just develop something that is a little box that you put on the side of your house and you just slide in a little coffee cup every 50 years?
Yeah.
And you lock it up, and then that's what power – because certainly there has to be something this size, nuclear, that could power you – and I bet it could even be half of this – that could power your home for the next 100 years. But we'll never see that happen, will we?
No, because oil and gas ain't going to let that happen.
But just think about that. What if there was just a little door that you just pop a little coffee cup in
Well,
there?
we had a scientific discussion off the air, and I explained my view to Rob, and I won't go into detail because I don't need 1,000 of y'all explaining to me why it will and won't work. But I do. We're missing the boat on some stuff because we've been told it can't work, and I'm almost thinking that can't never could, and we possibly can. So, anywho.
Well, there's something about
you go AI.
Yeah, well, there's something. It's okay. That's what I was looking for. See, thank goodness, the law of conservation of energy is what it comes out, and it's basically is you can't get more energy out than what you put in. And so here's the think about this: you can't get out more than what you put in. Well,
government doesn't.
I'm gonna go work hard, and I guess I ain't gonna get much out of it. Oh, man. But, yeah, that's the law of the conservation of energy. It means energy cannot be created or destroyed in an isolated system. It can only change forms. So, for example, electrical can go to heat, chemical to mechanical. That's why machines and engines can never be 100% efficient, because you always have to have some sort of energy going into it to pull energy out of it. And I'm wondering, this is a deep discussion that, we obviously, you and I, you have more of a brain than I do on this stuff because I just said ain't not coming here or whatever. What did I say a while ago about that hurricane?
Yeah.
But there's got to be laws that someone came up with way back in the day that have been broken. I'm not talking about like laws, here, like I'm talking scientific laws. You know what I'm saying? Not laws of like break the speed limit. But I wonder if this is one that someone's ever going to crack, the law of conservation of energy. That one day somebody's
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. When I retire, I'm going to focus my whole life mission on
figuring out how to get more out of what you put in.
Yeah. It's got to be through gear reduction.
It's got to be something.
Think about it. Like a 10-speed bicycle. Mm-hmm. You know how you can change the gears up on it, and then you're pedaling at the same speed, but you're going faster? Right there. Is that not?
There's got to be something to it.
Yeah.
So somebody out there needs to figure this stuff out. I don't know. I just think I think about it. That's why so many people try to use the sun to harness energy. And think about all the wasted energy that there is in the earth. And what do I mean by wasted energy? Just you and me walking on the ground produces some sort of energy. There in Japan and China, they figured out some things with street lights. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not, but they have walkways that when people walk on them, it generates energy and it charges up stoplights. And that's how the stoplights are powered from all the people that are walking because of the ground moving. That's kind of a cool thing to think about.
Yeah.
They've developed buoys out in the ocean that from the waves moving up and down, creates energy that they're converting into electrical power now. So you think about all the other things that we do every day that generate energy that's just getting wasted out, such as walking, such as driving. They've done a little bit of that with hybrid vehicles. When you hit the brakes, it's supposed to charge the battery and that kind of jazz. But anyways, I don't know. It's kind of cool to think about that kind of stuff. Kyle Kreiner would really have a heyday with this because I know he'd think a lot about this stuff. And he was and see look, he had the answer, Billy. He knew. He said that as long as you have gears, you have friction, and friction equals heat, and heat is expensed energy. So there you go. But Kyle put that into easier terms for us, so we.
No, I understand what he's saying.
Well, for me though, I need a diagram like stick figures and something like that. Something that they would draw in first grade, then I would understand it a little bit better.
You know what I'm most afraid of? If I do crack the code on this thing, then I probably won't be with us much longer. Because somebody from General Electric or Exxon or somebody will pay me a visit.
I wouldn't even talk it. This is the kind of stuff that you hear on Coast to Coast. You remember that radio program that come on late at night?
No.
Coast to Coast. It was all these far-fetched stories about how this was happening and that. I used to listen to a radio station out of San Antonio, WAI 1200, and tonight on Coast to Coast, aliens are coming. That kind of stuff, man. And it was more of like this fantasy, oh, wow, this theatrical type stuff. But some people took the Coast to Coast very serious, Billy.
You believe in aliens?
You know, man, here's what I'll say about this. We live in a world of how many people? Are there 8 billion people on Earth now? There's been 2 billion.
Well, I don't know all of them personally.
Well, we know a good chunk of them. But think about it, 8 billion people.
I don't know any of them in HEB, though.
Yeah, we don't know any. We know everybody else outside of HEB. Well, think about this. 8 billion people are here on the Earth, and there's something like 6 billion HD devices in our hand, okay?
Mm-hmm.
These are HD high-definition devices. 6 billion of these things floating around, which means most people on Earth, 70% of people may have some sort of a camera on their body at any given time. Think about that. So here's where I've always thought about this kind of stuff. If any of that stuff really existed, then why don't we have high-definition video footage like we see of a football game, of all that kind of stuff, which we don't.
I'm not saying I do or don't. It is naive to think that we're the only thing out there.
Yeah.
But how do you know that when people talk about aliens, they automatically assume that they are a superior life form?
It could.
What if they're dumber than we ever thought of being? You know? Why would they come visit us?
The way you said that was really good. Dumber than we ever thought of being.
Hey, I was describing a two-way radio yesterday, and you'd love this. And the guy was like, it's kind of large. I said, so what you're saying is like a brick with an antenna? And he stops and goes, yeah. It's a brick with an antenna.
I ain't never thought of it like that before.
But, yeah, I mean, like we automatically assume that they're flying around in silver saucers and they're 1,000 times smarter than us and they're beaming people up. What if it's the complete opposite? Hey, what if we're as good as it gets? Let that scare you for a minute.
I like
what if we're as good as it gets?
I like what my buddy's grandmother said. She passed away many years ago, but she was watching some TV program one time. And it was one of these type show, like a sci-fi type deal. And I said, Mary, do you believe in all that? I said, I don't believe in it. Do you believe in it? And I was probably 9 years old. I remember talking to her as clear as yesterday. She looks at, she's so sweet, down to earth, sweetest lady besides my mama and your mama.
My mama ain't exactly sweet.
And I remember,
maybe like a Sour Patch Kid,
you take a bite at first, they're a little sour, and then after that, they're good.
Yeah, she grows on you, that's for sure.
But I asked her that. You know what she said? She looked at me and she goes, well, honey, she goes, if they exist, the good Lord created them. That's how she always, everything. I love that about her.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, by the way, you ever see that show Ancient Aliens back in the day? And there was a guy that had the crazy hair.
Oh, yeah, I've seen his picture 1 billion times.
I have I'm kind of, my son here, he may have a shot at something here in the future.
Oh, hell, he's getting there.
Okay, there's that guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's that guy. I took that picture, and Bridget's going to kill me for this. I took that picture. We went out to eat last week, and he had turned his head right when I was taking a picture. And I immediately, when I saw that, I thought of that guy right there. So my son he may be the host of a new TV show coming up here in the future. So
when he gets done with his pro football career,
yeah, there he goes, right there. There he is, Cauthen and the sci-fi guy. So I don't know. I don't know. For me, Billy, it's one of those things. Just to recircumvent your question, I just think if it is, it is. So what? God created everything on the heavens and the earth, and secondly, though, we have so many of these floating around. Why is every single video of everything that's outside of our imagination?
An old sketchy 8mm.
It always is. I mean, they'll show these TV shows, and it'll make it look like these things were recorded back in the 60s, even though it was on a modern phone. And I'm sorry, but phones nowadays have something called image stabilization. And so when you see it on the TV and it's like this, you know what I'm saying? See how that's moving around, right? But when I go here and I start recording, is it still doing that?
No.
No, because of image stabilization is built into these things now. It doesn't jump around like that anymore. Unless someone's terrified when they're recording and they're like this. But look, even like that thing ain't even moving. So, anyways, whatever you guys think, throw it our way. We'll chew it up and spit it out.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I know we got a lot going on today, Billy. We are leaving. Bridget and I are leaving. Her youngest sister, the last of the Mohicans, if you will, is getting married in the Brennan family. And little old Jenna is getting married this weekend. So we are heading down to Schulenburg, Texas. You ever been to Schulenburg?
I have been to Schulenburg.
What's it? I've heard of it. I've never been. What is it? Like a Antiquan type town type deal?
So. In Texas.
I don't know anything about Schulenburg. I'm just waiting on somebody else to chime in and see if they know of anything.
I'm sure somebody's
Nothing.
got something.
Nothing. I've never been.
Well, they probably scared to comment in because they're going to misspell Schulenburg. S-H-O-E-U.
Well, that's
Schulenburg.
That's what we're doing. We're leaving. I got to take the dogs to the dog ranch. And Billy, I was telling you on a serious note, man, I'm going through a hard season right now because I know that my poor dog's days are numbered. And he's okay right now, you know, and so many of y'all were so thankful for many of y'all. You know, we had to have a surgery on that pup that was a pretty penny. I'm going to be paying on that for a while, but I just couldn't put a price tag on my dog. I mean, you just don't. That's part of your family, and he's still happy, and he's running around, and he's not suffering, and he's not out of breath, and he's still bodily functions, all that kind of stuff. I mean, he's still, besides this knot now, and that tumor, unfortunately, we had one removed that was pretty big. Well, another one has now came up. And this thing is massive, and it's like popcorn on the side of that poor dog. And I just know, Billy, that and the vet told me, he said, I know you probably don't want to operate on this one. I said, no, we can't afford to do that again. I mean, before long, I'll be taking out a third and fourth mortgage on this dog.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tough because you know that like all of us, I mean, our days are numbered. But there's physical evidence of it on my dog. And, you know, I don't know if he's got a week. I don't know if he's got a month. I just know here in the last week that those things have really taken off now. And the vet gave me steroid pills to give to him. It said it's not going to stop it, but it's going to slow it. And so I give that poor dog 2 Benadryl at night, 2 in the evening, and then each evening I give him one of those steroid pills too. And he's still happy, still run.
Does he just take it, or you got to wrap it in something?
I put it in those little cheese puffs, little cheese balls.
Yeah.
I stuff them in the cheese puffs, and that's how he eats it.
Those aren't good for you.
Yeah, so I stuff them in there and he eats them.
The girls, me and James have been doing the diet. So last night we're having our meal, and the girls, Jacqueline had to work late. They had a meal. Matter of fact, they had it at the tech center or whatever. But the girls got Domino's, and they went in their bedroom and ate it, so it wouldn't upset me and James.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice of them to do that.
Do they do that on their own, or did you have to tell them?
Well, I had a gift card for it, so.
Said, y'all go use this.
Well, I had a gift card. It was on my dresser, and then Lily made the comment that she had a gift card. I said, well, hell, I got one. Oh, that is mine. So.
Dad, please go on more of these diets.
Yeah, it's funny how that stuff works. I had a lady that gave me a Domino's in my family. I don't know if you ever saw that show, The King of Queens, where they're trying to order pizza, and the dad's like, call the Domino's. It's a family joint or whatever.
Yes, I have.
Have you seen that when it finally hits him? He's talking about Domino's. So now in my family, we don't call it Domino's. We call it Domino's.
It's just got a little more oomph to it.
Yeah, it's more Italian.
It's like staying at the Best Western Plus instead of just a regular Best Western. You know,
I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
I told a buddy of mine, Billy. But anyway, yeah. Long story short,
hey, we're gonna get off there here in a minute. We're just BSing. So.
No, it's just my dog, man. I'm bummed. And it makes you never want to have another pet again because you hate to have to go through this.
We got Olivia a cat. You know, I've always been a dog person.
Cats are low maintenance, right?
I don't know, but it's a kitten. It's not very old. But
are you a fan of it, or you just?
I just the damn cat's growing on me.
We may have
because it like every other animal that gets drug in that house, it winds up liking me.
Yeah, we may have to talk about our friendship here.
Yeah, I know, and there's going to be people coming out of the woodworks now that want to be friends with me because I got a cat. So
a buddy of mine posted this. He's up in North Dakota.
Oh, North Dakota.
He's been at NDSU for 13 years. He's a really funny guy. By
His
the
car
way.
won't start, or
yeah, he got stuck up there. His name's Wes. He's kind of like the SID for basketball up there, Sports Information Director. He's a really nice guy. I got to know him. He's always
glad you told me what that stood for.
Yeah, very sarcastic sense of humor. You'd like this guy.
Okay.
He said this. He said, I've been at North Dakota State for 13 years now. And he said, but I haven't quite made it to 13 years in Fargo yet because I spent the first 18 nights at the Super 8 in Moorhead. That's a town next door. He said $48 a night with free breakfast plus HBO. And I told him, I said, congratulations on 13, my friend. The only issue I see here is you didn't stay at that motel where they leave the light on for you. That light beats breakfast any day.
You know, some of those places have a really good breakfast, and others they have hard-boiled eggs and yogurt.
Why is it that you stay at a cheap hotel or a motel and you have a great breakfast and it's free, but then you stay at like the Hyatt, Regency, and all these fancy ones, and it's a $20 buffet for breakfast?
The Minger Hotel in San Antonio, that's breakfast.
Do you get the hookup? Do you got to pay for it, or is it included?
I think you pay for it.
See, this is what I'm concerned about. Why is it the cheap ones, though, it's included, and the expensive ones you got to pay for?
How else are they going to entice you other than a low price on a room, which isn't really low anymore?
But you think about like a La Quinta Inn. Those are pretty nice. A lot of La Quinta. I stay at La Quintas a lot. I like the La Quinta. Even the Days Inn. You'll hit a good Days Inn once in a while.
I stay at my house a lot.
But they do, though. They have great breakfast there, and it's, you know, and those are really good. And then you go to a higher-end hotel, and they're going to charge you a ton of money for it.
Back in the day, under previous management, we were invited over to the Holiday Inn Express behind the funeral home. Every day they wanted us to come eat breakfast there.
They have a great breakfast there.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore?
We just don't get that home feeling from them anymore.
You don't get the invitation either.
Well, it ain't like, you know, they wanted us to come in there and just be, you know, get something to eat and be bright and cheerful towards the guests and make them, you know, we did. You know, how are you? How'd you sleep? And da-da-da-da, you know, where are you going? Type stuff. But they've changed hands over there so many times now.
That's actually a really good, you know, I always wondered, we ought to do a social experiment where we just show up and go eat breakfast at hotels and see if anybody notices.
I was watching a social experiment online yesterday. You know how like there's like that international sign for I need help or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lady walking. Yeah, she was walking down the sidewalk, and there was a guy like holding her by the arm, and she would like bump the person that like walked right beside her, like hit him, and then would put her hand behind her back and give that sign or whatever.
Nobody stopped.
It was amazing. There were people that did stop, but there was a lot of people that just looked at it and like, it would go on.
They didn't know what it was.
Well, maybe we need to all get on board what that means or something.
Emphasize that sign.
Yeah.
I wonder, and I hope I'm never in a situation like that. But in a kind of a way, I hope I am, so I could help somebody.
Well,
but it's how would I act in that moment?
Well,
you know?
that's my concern. Like if somebody did do, like if some young lady did that to me, I would hope and pray that it was not just an experiment or a test, because I'm probably going to become a person that most of y'all have never seen if that is true, in fact, the situation. And I would sure hate to be knocking homeboy's teeth down his throat to where if he doesn't know if he's pooping them or spitting them.
Yeah.
And it just be, you know, for some type of experiment. You know, it's kind of like, you know, fire drills. They're great and they're necessary, but you need to let people know it's just a drill.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I don't know how I would react in that situation, because sometimes you see things on the internet, like you'll see the stories of somebody paying for somebody's groceries or doing, and I've never witnessed any of that firsthand, and I'm sure I will eventually one of these days.
You've never paid for somebody's groceries?
Oh yeah, I've paid. No, not their. I mean, I bought someone something behind me at the drive-through, but I'm talking about. You'll see some of these videos where there's a line of people in a grocery store, and all of a sudden, guy has a candy bar, and he cuts in front of, I just need to get this, and they all get angry at him behind, and then he turns around, and he's like, I'm buying all y'all's groceries, and then they go from anger to like, really?
Oh, you're my hero.
You know, I've never seen anything like that in real life.
I have paid for other people's stuff at the grocery store, not like buggies and stuff, but like if you could tell that the person behind you is, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. And if they have just a few items, like you can tell that they have figured out how much they can spend and they are getting just enough
mm-hmm.
to, and here's a 20. Here, put that, let me pay for that.
There was a family, and I know you're just like me. We're not saying that to say, look at what we did or anything. It's just because it's the right thing to do, and hopefully it'll inspire somebody else.
Most of us have stood in those shoes at one point or another, and that sucked.
I was at the grocery store here probably about 6 months ago, and there was a lady in front of me, and that poor lady, I could tell she was just shaking, and it wasn't much. I mean, she had like a few cans of soup and macaroni and cheese, that kind of just staples that she was buying. And she was going through her wallet, and the poor thing was shaking, and she had 2 children with her. The kids were just yelling and screaming. And that woman was frantic, and it wasn't because the kids were screaming. You could tell that the entire weight of everything that was going on in her world was on her in that one instant moment. And immediately I knew, I said, this poor woman does not have the money she needs to get that. Because she pulled out like a $10 bill, and she goes, I know I've got more in here. And she wasn't making a big deal. And then she said, well, she goes, can you just hold all this, and I'll just go home and try to find the rest. And in that moment, I saw those children and her, and I very nonchalantly walked up, and I put a $20 bill on the thing, and I said, somebody had given me this. It needs to go to you. I said, that's why it was given to me. And that poor woman said, no, I can't. I said, yes, you can. And I said, here. And I just stepped back, and she was in front of me. And that poor woman just broke down and started crying. And she said, she goes, you don't know how much I needed this, and this means to me. It's in that moment, when that's the right thing to do.
Well, let me ask you, because I've done this several times for people. Did that hurt you?
No.
Because
I would have spent that on something else that I didn't
something
need.
that you didn't need.
Exactly.
I mean, did your lights stay on?
Mm-hmm.
Did your family have something to eat? Were you able to drive to work? That didn't hurt you. That didn't hurt you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know, not only did it benefit them for now, that those babies went to sleep with something in their belly.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe she was able to put that $10 she did have towards the lights or getting a ride to a job interview, or you don't know.
And I think about, this is one final thing before we go, but it's a good discussion. I know we're cutting up, joking today, and kind of rambling on, but this is a good discussion.
You ever notice our highs and lows?
Yeah. It's a roller coaster. You don't need to go to Six Flags on this show, buddy. You just hang. It's cheaper to hang out here.
Yeah, get your recliner cover up and hold on.
But I think about what you just said, and we go through so much in life, and we don't know the hardships that people go through. And one thing that I really want to encourage people to be mindful of, people on social media cry out. They cry out when they need help.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they just keyboard warrior. Yes, there's scams that go on. But there's people out there on Facebook that I see that, it's embarrassing for them. I know it is, to post something so publicly to say, I really need help. And whenever you see someone on Facebook saying, can anybody bring me some food? They're not asking for money.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking for food. Or if they do say, can anybody spare $10? Yeah, there may be some folks out there that are just doing it to do it. But I'll tell you what, some of the comments that I see when people are doing that, it just irks me, because the first comments that I'll see, well, go down to this shelter, they'll help you, or go down to this. Do you think that those people would be posting on Facebook if they already tried that, or if that was their idea? No.
Or if they had the means to get there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know the situations that people have been in. One thing that I wanted to highlight, Chris Brown has the jump around moonwalks here in town, and one thing that just warms my heart is you'll see on his Facebook from time to time.
He'll go get them. Yeah.
He'll get people on the internet to, hey, here's someone that needs help, and he's very transparent. He'll even post the receipt, and people help that, and he's filling shopping carts full of groceries for people who need it. And so the next time you see somebody on social media that's saying, hey, your first comment should not be go get a job. Boy, I see that one all the time. Maybe they do need a job, but you know what? Some people may be in so much emotional distress, and the depression and the weight of this world is so heavy on their heart that they can't even fathom getting a job. And I'm not saying that we need to just give handouts to people, but sometimes just a little bit to help somebody through a situation is going to inspire them to take that next step that they need to take in their life.
I've always thought of it kind of like, if done correctly, it's like priming a well. Sometimes you got to give it a little water, and then it can start producing water. Maybe they are truly down and out, and they're hungry, and they ain't got crap, man.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if you give them just a little, it'll spring forth, and they'll be able to take care of themselves. I mean, if they think about that in your own life, people that are out there judging right now. Maybe there was a point in time where somebody helped you, your mother, father, grandparents, gave you a little feeder loan or something small. Like think back when you were a child and you wanted to start a landscaping business, and somebody bought you a lawnmower,
mm-hmm.
and you used that lawnmower and you paid them back, and then you went forth from there. And some people have turned that into a whole career. Sometimes these people just need a little prime,
That's good, Billy. It's really good, man. So that's just a little encouragement this morning. Think of somebody out there today that you can help, and maybe if you see somebody, reach out to them and say, what can I do? What else can I do to help you? Can I come get you? Can I pray for you? Can I buy you that food that you need?
I got 18 cans of pink salmon.
Yeah, where do you want it? So, well, good discussion. Well, hey, we got to get rolling. Some of you have texted in. We'll call a winner a little bit later after the show today. I've got to get home, take the dogs to take them and get them taken care of, and then we got to get down to Schulenburg is where we're heading. So,
Schulenburgs.
We're going to shoot. And you know what? One last thing. I'm thankful to go to these kind of things, but I get exhausted before I even leave because I got to think of everything that I have to do just to leave the house now. It starts with washing the clothes and making sure I have a suit, getting the dogs ready, getting the children ready, cleaning out the truck, packing up everything, taking everything that's packed up, putting it in the truck.
No dishes in the sink.
Yeah, all that stuff. And Bridget, God bless her, she goes through and cleans the whole house before we leave anywhere. She always does. I mean, the house, she keeps it pretty clean anyway. It's hard with 2 children. She works her tail off and does a great job. But every time we go to leave, that woman will just clean the house because she said, I do not want to come home to a dirty house.
Exactly.
And she will bust her tail cleaning up that house before we leave. And as a guy, I don't get it. I'm like, well, just leave it. We'll get it when we come back. But it makes sense. She said, I do not want to come back to a dirty house.
It'll be there when we get back. Exactly.
So, well, Billy, any final comments from you? I know we talked about a lot, but Billy's here with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Any thing you want to add to the discussion about what you guys are doing over there at Sam Houston, man? I know y'all are being busy.
We're just taking care of families. You know, we're giving everyone a little piece of our heart with every family we serve. So,
and you got to have a pretty big heart to do that because after a while, you give a little piece, there ain't gonna be much left.
You know,
but y'all got a big heart.
If you give someone a piece of your heart, it normally comes back twofold. So,
Billy's got about 100 hearts right here. He's the heart transplant guy. If you ever need a heart transplant, call Billy. He's got several extra ones.
If you feel ill, call Bill. No.
Don't call him in that way, man.
Yeah, we do not sell used body parts.
If you did, you wouldn't be here.
There's people send it to me all the time. Whenever y'all see like a funny funeral home joke or something, and you feel that you need to send that to me, rest assured that you are the 18th or 19th person who's already shared that Facebook meme with me. But there's one of a white hearse at a body. It's a salvage yard, but it's a white hearse, and it's like up on it's like their sign, and it's got red letters down the side that says, "We sell used body parts," and they're referring to
the car bodies,
auto parts. But everybody and their mama has sent that picture to me. Isn't it the funniest thing you ever seen? It's 32 times ago. Yes, it was.
You still give them a Billy Cauthen.
Yeah. All right, and people are dying to meet you.
You hear that one every day.
Every day. Every doggone. You be the last one to let them down.
My in IT, it was, I know just enough to be dangerous. I heard that every flipping day.
Why can't they just come up and say, hey, how are you?
I know. Well, I couldn't figure.
Oh, you're a funeral director? That's a notable profession.
Why can't they come up to you and just say, Billy, thank you for serving families in the community? And then they add on some joke.
You hear the guy at the morgue joke? Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Hey, real quick, too, say a prayer for my brother. One of his workers got pretty seriously injured yesterday. My brother works for a construction company there in Georgetown. Family friends ran that for years, and my brother is kind of the quality control guy. He goes around, and they've got great crews that are all over Central Texas for D.R. Horton, Syntex Homes. But this poor guy, my brother had got a call yesterday, and they're like, Charlie, get over. They call him Charlie. Charlie, get over here quick. You know, it's gone. It's gone. My brother's like, what do you mean it's gone? What are you talking? Somebody died? Like, what happened? And the guy was frantic. It's gone. It's gone. And my brother races over to this house, and one of his best workers works right under my brother. Just an incredible man. He's working so hard to take care of his family. That's what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He had cut his thumb, and when he did, he sliced off like a big chunk of his palm. And
yeah, he didn't just get the tip; he got the
whole 9, man.
Like a chicken thigh.
And my brother had my brother told him on the phone, well, y'all call the ambulance. I'll be there in a minute. And my brother raced over there, and my brother's like, this is the toughest dude I ever met. He's like on his knee, holding up his arm. There's blood coming down his hand. They have it kind of wrapped up. And my brother's like, where's the ambulance? They're like, oh, we didn't call it. And my brother's like, my brother rips his shirt off, wraps the guy's hand up. He's like, get in the car. I'm taking you to the ER. And so he called 911. They gave him the nearest ER. It was like 5 minutes away. And the guys – and here's the deal. This is another thing that irks me before we go. They sewed up a few things, and then they packed the rest of it. And he's got to keep it very clean, obviously, because there's not a surgeon available for the next week. Now, come on, man.
Well, they're in Tahiti right
That's
now.
ridiculous. And so this guy's going to sit here and risk infection now, waiting on some surgeon.
Try getting a death certificate signed.
Because nobody's available. And so just keep that guy in your prayers. He eventually wants to return back. He's got family up in Waxahachie. That's where he's at now. But he also has family down in Mexico. And he told my brother his dream was he wanted to earn enough money to help take care of some things for his family. And then he wants to drive trucks back in Mexico. And I told my brother, I said, I'm not, I don't wish ill. I hate that happened. But I said, if he's not able to use that thumb, that's hard to do construction. It's hard. You can't really do much without a thumb like that. And I said that may be kind of his. It's time to go and pursue the truck degree thing.
Is it his left hand or right hand?
I'm not sure which one. So if it was my left, I'd be in for it. I'm right-handed.
We did get to see a picture of the carnage this morning, so that's why I was able to make my comment about what it looked like.
Yeah, and you thought it was like blood, but no, there was a piece of his
palm down there.
Right there. Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah, so pray for that guy. He's just a working dude, and we enjoy working people.
Just trying to support his family, man. So, well, hey, Huntsville, we love you. A lot going on this weekend. Remember the Harts Veterans Museum, they're having that big estate sale out at the storm shelter. Today gets underway at 10 a.m., so don't go right now. I was joking with Tara about that. You'd have a garage sale. You say it's going to start at 7. People are there at 4:30 with a grill out front, scrambling eggs, waiting for that thing to start.
And lowballing you automatically.
Oh, yeah. So
you want 5, you take a nickel?
No, no, sir. But head out there, support. This is a gentleman who passed away, and part of his legacy is he said, I want to leave my estate to the museum, and y'all sell my things and raise money for the museum, and that's what they're doing. They took his body actually up to Oklahoma a while back during the winter. And so now they've removed the items from his house. Big estate sale going on there at the did I say the fairgrounds? I'm at the storm shelter.
You said storm shelter.
So yeah, Walker County Storm Shelter. That's happening today through Sunday. But the best deals are going to get underway right at 10 a.m. So make sure you get over there. And it's supporting. It's honoring someone's legacy, their will of what they wanted to do, and it's supporting the Harts Veterans Museum.
Yeah, if you want the good stuff, you got to be the first one through the door.
That's it. And Tara said, I will not open the door until 10 a.m.
And bring cash.
Yeah, bring cash. Well, that'll wrap it up. Billy, thanks for being here, man. I know you've had a long week, but hope you have somewhat of a restful weekend. Y'all got services this weekend?
We do. We have 2.
So 2 services this weekend. You get a little bit of rest, though, on Sunday. So, hey, I want to remind you, too, Sunday, get connected to a local church. I'm very passionate, obviously, here at First Baptist. We call it a harbor of hope. You can find out more information online at fbchuntsville.org. And a church that's been so good to our church. We have just a great partnership. And more churches need to do this, Billy. More churches need to come together, because we really are just one body of Christ, and we need to think like that. There's this spirit of competition among churches, and I've always said I feel like one of my purposes of being in this community is to help bring that together, and we've seen the fruit of that through many churches now, through fellowship here in town, and Tim Ramsey and his youth group. We get to do a lot with them, and through other churches, especially Christ the King United Methodist is where you go. Reverend Jeff Powers over there. Y'all got a great congregation too, man.
Mm-hmm. We do.
So we need to get Brother Powers on the show. Can I call him Brother Powers if he comes on here?
Oh, absolutely.
And I do want to have the Friday once a quarter hour of power. But do find a church. Get plugged in this weekend. There's a lot of great churches here in this community. And that'll wrap it up, man.
We're wrapped.
We're done. Hey, have a great week. As I end every show reminding you, please remember, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own, Billy. We're really not. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there needs you. Until Monday, good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you back on the other side. Have a great day, Billy.
See y'all.